Hiya, welcome to September's Q&A. Let's get to it. So, we had lots of really great questions. I'm going to start with a question that might answer two of you. So, well, I hope it answers two of you. The first two people I'm going to answer is at Julia Tastic and at Fleur Emery. Hiya. So we are going to answer both of them. Julia Tastic asks, I'm 45, struggling with premenopausal symptoms, namely anxiety and some sleepiness. Is there dietary and or supplements that you would recommend? And at Fleur Emery, I'm 45, fit and healthy and don't take medicine. I read a lot about perimenopause and wonder if there's anything I can eat to stand me in good stead for this phase. So with anxiety and symptoms of perimenopause or premenopause, I use a lot of herbs. I think they work really well. And so I would say again, Agnus Castus is the go-to for this. There are also things, especially for anxiety, things like rhodiola or ashwagandha, which is an adaptogen. They're both herbs. You can get them in tinctures. You're just going to add them to water. And they seem to work really well for the adrenal glands, which in turn will help you stay calmer. It will calm your cortisol levels, which will help your anxiety. And then foods for perimenopause, things like sage, the herb sage are great. Herbs basically work really well for menopause. So sage is a great one for hot flushes and when you have when that heat surge. You can pick sage and have it in your tea. You can buy a sage supplement, but you can just use sage from the garden if you have it. And you just put it in tea and it's really, really, really effective. Other things you can eat, make sure you're eating a lot of fibre. Make sure you're getting lots of fibre in your food because it helps remove the hormones from your body. And then the other herbs I said about ashwagandha, rhodiola and Agnus Castus. So I hope that's good. Oh, Organic Pharmacy do a really good tincture. I like their tincture. It's like a mixture of everything. Okay, next up is at Lisa Sherry. Please can you recommend a top food sensitivity test in London? I cannot deal with ballooning up with bloat anymore. I eat no gluten, no sugar, no wheat. I exercise daily 1 hour. Veg, fruit and Greek yogurt seem to be the culprits. And then at Miss Kimberly has also come in and said, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I woke up with severe bloating that lasts all day. Be great to get some tips. Okay, so bloating can come from many reasons. To answer your question, sensitivity test lab that I use is Cambridge Nutritional Sciences and they're great. I'm not entirely sure if you have to be a practitioner or if you can be a private client and use them. There's also a company called York Tests that people use and they come highly recommended. And they're really useful. It's really useful to find out what's going on, but then you have to work out what the cause is. Like, why is your gut bloating? Why are you getting irritated by things? Now, you've mentioned fruit and veg and Greek yogurt. So Greek yogurt is dairy. Fruit and veg are both things which can ferment in the stomach. They're quite fibrous. So if your gut isn't digesting it properly, it can sit and ferment. One tip I would say is to try and eat fruit at the beginning of your meal because it digests low down in the gut. So if you eat your proteins and your fats and your carbs and everything, and then you eat fruit, it will sit on top and it ferments on top, and that can cause bloating. So try and eat your fruit first. That's how they used to do it in the old days. And then the other thing is the tips. I mean, taking probiotic, which I know that you say you do, is a really good way to start. So get a really great probiotic and change it. Take one every month. Sorry, one for 1 month, and then change it and take another course 6 months later. But also things like finding out, be mindful of what you're eating, what is causing the bloating, what time is it coming, because then there's something wrong with your gut is what I'm trying to say. So things like L-glutamine will help, slippery elm can help heal the gut. But you need to try and calm your gut down because something's irritating it. So look at leaky gut, it could be. It could also be sitting down, if you're sitting at a desk all day and not getting, I know you say you get a lot of exercise, Lisa, but Kimberly, if you're sitting down all day, so try and, you have to be really mindful, but there's so many reasons for bloating. But I'd have a look into leaky gut and I would have a look into gut healing things, which is like an L-glutamine or a slippery elm. I hope that helps. At the Shine Global, hi Rosemary, I need help with Candida. Any dietary or nutritional advice would be much appreciated. Oh, and I'm vegan. Okay. So Candida, if you've had it, depends how long you've had it for. My absolute go-to, which is super successful in clinic, is Saccharomyces boulardii. It is a yeast, but it goes into the gut and it will take up the space the Candida takes, and then the Candida will die off, and then the Saccharomyces boulardii will die off. Candida is natural to have in the body. It's normal to have a certain amount. It's just when the colony gets out of control and goes wild, then you're left with all the symptoms of Candida because it's taking over. The most important thing with Candida is to stop eating sugar. And I am not a big fan of not eating fruit, but for 3 weeks I would say no fruit, no beer, no wine, no alcohol. Obviously no obvious sugars, but be really, really careful with sugars. So really, really cut out all sugars, and also yeasts and mushrooms, fungus. So for 3 weeks, take those out, take Saccharomyces boulardii, and then you can start to reintroduce it, but that should really crack it over that time. And it's a really strong protocol. It works very well with my clients. I hope that helps. You have to be really strict with sugar. Okay, at Janie Fulcher, have you looked into the Lumity supplements? A bit above my budget, but I've read several good reviews. Thanks. Yeah, I love Lumity actually. They're really nicely balanced. They're nice. They come in travel packs. I think they work really well. So they are. I guess they are pricey, but they are good. They're a good quality brand, and they put good quality stuff in their supplements. And good quality supplements do cost quite a lot, but they're worth it. You get what you pay for actually in the world of supplements. At Life at 28. Okay, hormonal acne. What major foods to avoid and ones are a must? Major food. So hormones and things like dairy would be a big one, and not organic free range meats because they have quite a lot of hormones in them. Oh, does it say red show? No. So so if you're eating meat, make sure it's grass fed, make sure it's organic, make sure it's not got any extra hormones you don't need more hormones. You need to try and balance the hormones. Make sure you're eating whole grains, really whole foods. You need the fibre in there to help remove all the hormones. It helps get the hormones out and flush them out of the system. It just helps keep them more balanced. Make sure you're drinking loads and loads of water. Refined sugar out. It's kind of the obvious ones. You really want to be looking at a low inflammation diet. So sort of like high in fish, high in whole foods, low in coffee, low in sugar, low in booze, low in red meat, low in dairy, have a little bit, but really, really cut it. You need to be having loads of brightly coloured vegetables, high in antioxidants and high in fibre. Okay, and loads of water because it helps flush things through. And also, actually, that's the other thing I was going to say, zinc. Zinc foods are really good. So seafood's got quite a lot of zinc in it. Quinoa has a lot of zinc in it. Zinc is really good because it's a healer. At Kate B. Hi Rosemary, are there any supplements you can recommend for my skin? I've been recovering from Candida for over 2 years, but my skin on my face feels, especially my cheeks, are super sensitive and looks like a rash some days. It's not clearing even though feeling much better, and take a probiotic daily. Wonder if there's anything you can recommend. Okay, so actually it's not that different to the last question. Again, if it's angry, it's because there's inflammation there. So a really anti-inflammatory diet, loads of whole foods, whole grains, nuts, seeds. I keep thinking of spinach, but green leafies. You want lots of antioxidants, vitamin C. So berries are great for this. You can get frozen berries for the winter and keep them in your freezer. You can take. I would look at a vitamin C and zinc supplement for that. I would also think about what's causing it to be so angry. Why is it so angry? Is it Candida? It sounds like something else. So I'd look at why your immune system's quite, So I'd probably look at a fish oil as well to try and calm and stop, and reduce inflammation. Probiotics, change your probiotic. If you've taken it for a year, I would try and look at a Saccharomyces boulardii. You can get Saccharomyces boulardii probiotics. I think Optibac do one, so try and get one that's got that in it because that will help any Candida hangover. Okay, Kate H12485. Hi Rose, tips for healthy hair and iron levels without taking prescribed pills. Thank you. You're welcome. I think there are really nice things I'm a big fan of Floradix and Spartone. Iron's quite a difficult one to supplement because, as you know, you get the ones from the doctor, which is quite hardcore and cause some side effects. So I think, just make sure you're having vitamin C with it. So have an orange or have a tomato or whatever, have some vegetables, fruit, whatever. But have that with the Spartone or have that with Spartone because you need vitamin C to help absorb the iron. But Spartone and Floradix are just nice tonics. They're not going to help if you're deficient, but they will help maintain a level. And so they're a really good thing to do. Obviously, greens, nuts and seeds have iron. Greens have lots of iron. Spinach actually does have a lot of iron. It's not just Popeye that says that, it's true. And red meat does have iron. I don't know if you're a vegetarian. Anyway, but so I think Spartone's a really nice thing to take, especially if you're prone to low iron. At Gemma Brown 11, do you think non-celiac gluten sensitivity is a thing, and would you recommend a gluten-free diet as long as it's healthy and unprocessed one? Yes, I do think non-celiac gluten sensitivity is the thing. I think it's overused. I think gluten intolerance is a overused term for people who don't really have a problem with it. So I think working out what's going on with your gut, if that's what it is. I mean, if it's very specific every time you eat gluten, then absolutely there's a sensitivity there. It's a very complicated protein to break down. So, the idea of when, I say that it's an overused term, but it is very complicated. So, if you use, and actually gluten's in lots of trash. So that's why people always go, I feel so much better because I'm not eating gluten. It's because they're not eating cakes and biscuits and sausages. So I totally think, I'm not anti it at all. I just sometimes I feel like the term is overused, gluten sensitive, I'm gluten intolerant, when actually perhaps you're not. But anyway, I definitely know that it does exist. And if it's something that always causes you trouble, then absolutely leave it out. And, just as long as you eat a healthy alternative diet. At Cecilia Lundholm, sorry. What do I avoid eating? I've had breast cancer the last year and have had chemotherapy, anti-hormone treatment. Okay. So I hope you're feeling better. But I think when you've had this stuff, as long as you've finished your cancer treatment, because and also I would say that you should probably go to a cancer specialist. And if you want me to recommend someone, I work with someone who is really great in this field. If you've finished your treatment, then I'm happy to help. Without knowing very much, it's kind of a complicated situation with cancer, but I would say that you probably need to help your liver a little bit now. It's gone through a lot. It's had quite a lot of medication going through it. So just give it a little TLC. Again, things like green vegetables. Obviously, it sounds ridiculous, but that's what you need to be eating, is loads of fresh fruit, loads of fresh vegetables, just to help put the vitamins back in. I would also look at a B vitamin supplement just to help your adrenal glands because of all the stress and strain you've been under. I would probably also look at sort of adding in a mixed green powder drink to it, because green juices are really good for your condition, for your old condition and for the situation now. But like a green mixed powder would be great. Like Kiki powder is great, and so there's one called Pure Synergy, which is amazing. So that's what I would add in. Okay. And then lastly, but not least, _at _the city and the C _ Hi Rosemary, can you recommend the best way to find out the root cause of my baby's eczema? On face, arms, 8 months old, baby's breastfed and on solids now. Eczema started very early when still breastfeeding. Well before she had dairy, gluten-free as I am celiac. I am taking probiotics and a multi. Topical creams not working, haven't tried steroid creams yet. Okay, the best way to find the cause of it, it's very hard to find the cause of eczema because it could be genetic. I mean, the fact that you have celiac means that there's some inflammatory conditions going on already. I'm assuming that you've gone through all the, the washing powder and sheets and all those, but if you haven't, those can often be a big thing, like soaps, anything that touches the baby's skin. And what I would say is, I'd have a look at homeopathy and how was your birth? Was it a traumatic birth? Was it all right? I hope it was all right. But, things like cranial osteopathy can be very helpful for soothing a nervous system that's a little bit... And then if she is on dairy, I wouldn't have her on dairy. I would definitely suggest you try to find an alternative to that, because it's angry, it's quite inflammatory. Not angry, it's quite inflammatory. I hope that works. And it's quite hard with a baby. I'd probably need a bit more information, but try those things. Homeopathy can be very, very good for your, for eczema. It can be really good because it deals with constitutional and systemic. So I hope that's helpful, and thank you very much. Okay, you lot, I shall see you next month, and thank you. Bye.